crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrollers, crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrollers May 2nd, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs April 18th to April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Paso Bame Solto, Slowed, ATLXS. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, April 18th to Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather. Billie Eilish. APT, Rose, Bruno Mars. Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from April 28, 2025. Minecraft. Little Friends, Dogs and Cats. NBA 2K25. EA Sports FC 25. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, April 15, 2025 to Tuesday, April 22, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. RuneScape, Dragon Wilds. Schedule 1. Last Epoch. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA releases guidance on credential risks associated with potential legacy Oracle cloud compromise. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Nari Labs DIA 1.6b. DIA is a 1.6b parameter text-to-speech model created by Nari Labs. It was pushed to the hub using the PyTorch Model Hub mix-in integration. DIA directly generates highly realistic dialogue from a transcript. You can condition the output on audio, enabling emotion and tone control. The model can also produce non-verbal communications like laughter, coughing, clearing throat, etc. To accelerate research, we are providing access to pre-trained model checkpoints and inference code. The model weights are hosted on Hugging Face. The model only supports English generation at the moment. Asian American Foundation announced that Americans don't think hate towards Asian Americans has increased, but Asian Americans disagree. Rwanda responds warmly to Trump request to take non-citizen deportees, as Trump administration weighs sending migrants to Libya and Rwanda, sources say. AFD declared right-wing extremist endeavor by German intelligence. Australia's richest person Gina Rinehart says she wants Trump-like reforms as election nears. Trump golf course deal announced in Qatar ahead of U.S. president's visit. Abu Dhabi firm to invest $2 billion in Binance using Trump's crypto venture. SCMP comments as, a stronger China waits to see which Trump advisor will come out on top on tariffs, sources. Trump says U.S. kids may get $2 instead of 30, but China will suffer more in a trade war, as Trump urges patience, blames Biden after weak economic news. Japan lawmakers warn U.S. tariffs threaten security, not just economic ties, as China looms, and Japan says its $1 trillion in U.S. treasuries could be leverage in trade talks, and BOJ to keep rates steady, cut growth forecasts. U.S. and Ukraine sign long-awaited minerals deal to rebuild Kyiv and repay aid. Trump to nominate National Security Advisor Mike Waltz as UN ambassador, as Trump's National Security Advisor Mike Waltz expected to depart administration, sources say, and Waltz spotted using modified Signal app at cabinet meeting. In the U.S., Treasury targets major Mexican cartel involved in fentanyl trafficking and fuel theft with sanctions to CJ&G. Apple slammed for App Store violations in Fortnite case, as Apple says it will appeal after court finds company. Executive lied under oath in Epic Games trial. Epic Games is launching webshops to allow developers to circumvent App Store fees after new ruling, as Epic Games targets Apple with zero commission plan and App Store workaround. Patreon will update its iPhone app to sidestep Apple's payment system. Fortnite will return to US iOS App Store after court finds Apple willfully violated court order in Epic Games suit. Sundar Pichai says DOJ demands are a de facto spin-off of Google Search. Reuters reports that Adani pauses talks with Israel's tower for $10 billion India chip foray, sources say. Mark Andreessen says one job is mostly safe from AI, venture capitalist. Apple notifies new victims of spyware attacks across the world. Ascension discloses data breach potentially linked to Clio hack. In the UK, Co-op forced to shut down part of IT system after hack attempt. Generative AI isn't biting into wages, replacing workers, and isn't saving time, economists say. Meta's capex inflation, Mark Zuckerberg's AI appetite, and the Trump tariffs are boosting infrastructure spending to as much as $72 billion. Google funding electrician training as AI power crunch intensifies. Visa Intelligent Commerce enables AI to find and buy, as it collaborates with Anthropic, IBM, Microsoft, Mistral AI, OpenAI, Perplexity, Samsung, Stripe and more, for AI-ready cards, AI-powered personalization, and simple and secure AI payments. Google places ads inside chatbot conversations with AI startups. Mark Zuckerberg is planning a premium tier and ads for Meta's AI app. Tesla chair denies plans to look for new CEO to replace Musk. Previously, Wall Street Journal reported that Tesla board opened search for a CEO to succeed Elon Musk. Uber strikes deal with May Mobility to deploy thousands of robot axes. Anthropic says NVIDIA GPUs getting smuggled into China in prosthetics. NVIDIA calls it utter rubbish. 9 months ago, the information had reported as NVIDIA AI chip smuggling to China becomes an industry. Sam Altman's eye-scanning ID project launches in US with 6 locations. Meta updates smart glasses policy to expand AI data collection. Study accuses LM Arena of helping top AI labs gain its benchmark. Mosquitoes discovered as far north as Shetland in Scotland-wide study. Mongolia unveils bold strategy to boost tourism and elevate industry share to 10% of GDP by 2030. Kuwait cracks down on cryptocurrency mining amid power crisis. Assassin's Creed Shadows multiplayer maps discovered in the game's files. Mark Zuckerberg says don't worry about loneliness epidemic because he can just recreate all your friends in AI. VML, Lab-Grown Leather Limited and the Organoid Company announce partnership to create world's first T-Rex leather. Microsoft introduced 5.4 Reasoning, 5.4 Reasoning Plus, and 5.4 Mini Reasoning, which rivals much larger models on complex reasoning tasks. Xiaomi's Mimo punches above its weight, eclipses OpenAI and Alibaba in AI tests, as Xiaomi enters AI world with Mimo 7B, monster that beats OpenAI. Google CEO hopeful Gemini will be part of Apple Intelligence this year. In the US, House votes to block California from banning sales of gas cars by 2035. In the US, Justice Department sues Hawaii, Michigan over plans to sue fossil fuel companies. Senate overturns EPA rule on 7 highly toxic air pollutants. Spain's grid denies dependence on solar power to blame for blackout, as U.S. Energy Secretary tries to blame renewables for Spain's power outage. Financial Times comments as Spain and Portugal blackout blamed on solar power dependency. India extends mandate for imported coal-based power plants. Oil major Shell launches $3.5 billion share buyback after first quarter profit beat. Defeating Hamas more important than freeing hostages, Israeli PM. Wildfires in Israel force towns near Jerusalem to evacuate, and Hamas calls on Palestinians to burn all they can amid fires in Israel, as all you have to do is burn. Hamas calls to set fires in Jerusalem, West Bank. Drew's spiritual leader calls on Israel to intervene in sectarian fighting in Syria, and Israel launches airstrikes near Syrian presidential palace in Damascus. Trump administration releases 400-page review of gender dysphoria treatment for youths but won't say who wrote it. FA to ban transgender women from playing women's football in England. Humans' wounds heal much more slowly than other mammals. GM slashes guidance with up to $5 billion hit from tariffs. McDonald's store traffic falls unexpectedly as diners grow uneasy about economy, as McDonald's posts first decline in U.S. comparable sales since 2020. Apple expects $900 million tariff hit as it shifts U.S. iPhone supply from China to India, and Apple says most of its devices shipped into U.S. will be from India, Vietnam. Chinese PLA soldiers make first ever appearance at Vietnam's Fall of Saigon parade, as Vietnam marks 50 years of Fall of Saigon with Grand Parade. In the U.S., Hegseth orders comprehensive transformation of U.S. Army, merging offices and cutting weapons. Vance says U.S. hopes Pakistan cooperates with India against Pakistan-based militants. Reuters reports that Iran had imperial ambitions in Syria. Secret embassy papers show why it failed. Ship carrying activists in aid to Gaza attacked by drones, NGO claims. It has been reported as IDF planning major shift in Gaza aid delivery in bid to thwart Hamas diversion. China says it is looking at American proposals to scale down tariff war. Wall Street Journal comments as trade war exposes China's dependence on U.S. for auto chips. U.S. weighs easing Nvidia chip curbs on UAE as Trump plans visit. Doge says it has saved $160 billion. Those cuts have cost taxpayers $135 billion, one analysis says. Senate passes bill to repeal Biden-era rule on energy standards for appliances. Pentagon to seek right to repair provisions in Army contracts. Tether says Treasury exposure neared $120 billion in Q1, posts $1 billion profit. Ripple offered to buy stablecoin rival Circle for up to $5 billion. Visa and Stripe's bridge partner to streamline stablecoin cards. Trump signs executive order directing federal funding cuts to PBS and NPR. White House launches drudge-style website to promote Trump. U.S. prosecutors accuse large insurers of paying kickbacks for private Medicare plans. SAG-AFTRA launches influencer committee amid further push into creator economy. Axios reports that digital creator jobs jumped 7.5x since pandemic. TikTok beats Twitch to become the number 2 most watched streaming platform on the net and says creators are making $10 mil a day. Agatha Christie comes to life in AI-enhanced BBC Maestro writing course. Wikipedia says it will use AI, but not to replace human volunteers. Norway's oil fund targets $400 million trading cost savings using AI. Free speech GOP threatened billboard company to remove Democrats' ads about Medicaid cuts. Variety comments as Trump falsely claims 60 Minutes admitted to crime of editing Harris interview in a way that cheated and defrauded the American people. Wall Street Journal reported that Paramount leaders discussed settling Trump's lawsuit for as much as $20 million. Wall says Harris picked him for VP to code talk to white guys. UK Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy rules out streamer levy. Reuters reports that TikTok plans to build €1 billion data center in Finland, spokesman confirms. LinkedIn shares advertising revenue with creators in video push. RFK Jr. asks CDC for new measles treatment guidance amid his unfounded claims, and Washington Post report says RFK Jr. will order placebo testing for new vaccines, alarming health experts. Nature magazine reports that in the U.S., NIH to end billions of dollars in foreign research grants. Wall Street Journal reports as, in the U.S., RFK Jr. bets $500 million on universal vaccines in shift from COVID-19 funding. Airbus will avoid Trump tariffs by delivering planes to U.S. airlines in countries outside America, its CEO says. Amazon's CEO says the company can weather challenges from tariffs because of how big it is. CNN comments as, Trump's tariffs could make Europe, not America, great again. At least when it comes to inflation. Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with NewsSource Scrawlers April 30th, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs April 18th to April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Paso Bame Solto, Slowed, ATLXS. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, April 18th to Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather. Billie Eilish. APT, Rose, Bruno Mars. Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from April 28, 2025. Minecraft. Little Friends, Dogs and Cats. NBA 2K25. EA Sports FC 25. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, April 15, 2025 to Tuesday, April 22, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. RuneScape, Dragon Wilds. Schedule 1. Last Epoch. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA releases guidance on credential risks associated with potential legacy Oracle cloud compromise. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Narilab's DIA 1.6b. DIA is a 1.6b parameter text-to-speech model created by Narilabs. It was pushed to the hub using the PyTorch Model Hub mix-in integration. DIA directly generates highly realistic dialogue from a transcript. You can condition the output on audio, enabling emotion and tone control. The model can also produce non-verbal communications like laughter, coughing, clearing throat, etc. To accelerate research, we are providing access to pre-trained model checkpoints and inference code. The model weights are hosted on Hugging Face. The model only supports English generation at the moment. Trump to sign order granting some auto tariff relief, White House says. SCMP reports that Walmart has told some Chinese suppliers to resume shipments, sources. South Korea exports seen falling as Trump's tariffs start to weigh, Reuters poll. Scientists discover the oldest known ant fossil, a 113-million-year-old hell ant preserved in rock in Brazil. New quantum optics theory proposes that classical interference arises from bright and dark states of light. A failed Soviet Venus lander will fall back to Earth after being stranded for 53 years. Israeli intelligence chief Ronen Bar quits weeks after Netanyahu ordered his firing. U.S. sanctions Chinese and Iranian network supplying missile propellant materials to Iran's IRGC. Pakistan shoots down Indian drone after nuclear warning. Reuters reports that Pakistan defense minister says military incursion by India is imminent. China is developing an underwater Beidou network for navigation and tracking. 1 year ago it has been announced as China to build next-gen Beidou system, planning test satellite launches in 2027 and system completion by 2035. Taiwan sets up platform for coordinated response to undersea cable disruptions. Somalia bans Taiwan passport holders, citing One China policy. HSBC unveils $3 billion stock buyback after first quarter profit beats estimates. UBS Q1 profit tops forecasts but Trump tariff shock clouds outlook. China's factory activity drops to a near 2-year low in April as trade tariffs bite. Wall Street Journal comments as Altman and Nadella, who ignited the modern AI boom together, are drifting apart. Mark Zuckerberg says social media is over. Starbucks is staffing up its stores with baristas and ditching machines in the latest stage of its turnaround. Zero-day exploitation drops slightly from last year, Google report finds. France accuses Russian intelligence of repeated cyber attacks since 2021. Cloudflare announces that, in Q1 2025, Cloudflare blocked 20.5 million DDoS attacks. That represents a 358% year-over-year, YOY, increase and a 198% quarter-over-quarter, QOQ, increase. IBM to invest $150 billion in US over next 5 years to aid quantum push. TMC submits application for deep-sea mining under US law. Israel offers US trade concession in effort to avoid tariff pain. In the US, revenge porn bill backed by Melania Trump heads to president's desk after overwhelming House vote. New York lawmakers agree on Plan 4 bell-to-bell school cell phone ban, and Finland bans smartphones in schools. U.S. Democrats ink letter to FTC urging neural data misuse risks be addressed, as neurotech companies are selling your brain data, senators warn. Amazon sellers reportedly skipping Prime Day due to tariffs, as reportedly Amazon pressures suppliers to cut prices to limit Trump tariff shock. Amazon denies tariff pricing plan after White House calls it hostile and political, and Trump praises Bezos after Amazon denies plan to show tariffs costs, and Walmart won't break out tariff costs and pledges low prices. UPS layoffs, 20,000 jobs cut, 73 locations to close as company cites less Amazon business and tariff uncertainty. Heart disease deaths worldwide linked to chemical widely used in plastics. Study of over 865,000 abortion pill patients, 11% suffer serious adverse events. In South Korea, over half of single parents in bottom 20% income group, study. Alibaba unveils Qwen 3 AI models that it says outperform DeepSeek 1, and Elon Musk teases Grok 3.5 hours after Alibaba's Qwen 3 generates buzz amid US-China AI race. Meta says its Llama AI models have been downloaded 1.2b times. NPR reports that Doge employees gain accounts on classified networks holding nuclear secrets. SF, Santa Clara sue Trump over DOJ-led firings of federal workers. Trump's team has disrupted some $430 billion in federal funds, top Democrats say. In the U.S., Elon Musk's DOJ conflicts of interest worth $2.37 billion, Senate report says, as DOJ cuts could help Elon Musk companies avoid $2 billion in liabilities, Senate report. New York Post reports that Elon Musk no longer working from White House, talking to him on the phone. Paramount board clears possible path for settling Trump's 60 Minutes lawsuit. In the U.S., Senator Hawley reintroduces Pelosi Act to ban Congress from trading stocks. It has been reported as China's military rapidly expands use of low-cost AI-powered drones in phased leap. Global military spending hits record $2.7 trillion in 2024, sharpest rise since Cold War. India concludes $7.4 billion deal with France to buy Rafale jets. Trump to sign order requiring list of sanctuary cities, states, says official, and Donald Trump promises his new legal army for police officers. Trump to sign executive order mandating truckers speak English. In the U.S., far-right fight groups endorse youth clubs targeting U.S. young men and boys. Putin declares three-day ceasefire in Ukraine, marking 80 years since WW2, and Putin's proposal for three-day truce is absurd, says Trump's Ukraine envoy Kellogg. About 600 North Korean soldiers killed in Russia's war against Ukraine, Seoul says, as about 4,700 North Korean soldiers have been killed or wounded fighting for Russia, South Korea says. Witkoff, Putin sees opportunity for the first time in decades for a relationship recalibration. In India, Karnataka High Court directs union government to take steps for blocking Proton Mail in India. Marks and Spencer breach linked to scattered spider ransomware attack. Uyghur language software hijacked to deliver malware. Hugging Face So 101 is a 3D printable robotic arm that costs just $100 to make. PayPal is launching programmatic ads powered by shopping data. AI helps unravel a cause of Alzheimer's disease and identify a therapeutic candidate. Trump predicts China would eat tariffs, lessening U.S. impact. China sends a stern video message to Trump, "We won't kneel down," and China insists no tariff talks underway with Trump and Xi are top aides, despite U.S. claims. Malaysia to delay new taxes as manufacturers fear U.S. tariff hit. Wall Street Journal reports that Goldman Sachs is advising countries scrambling to please Trump on tariffs. UK sets out new rules for crypto as it aligns with US on approach. Eric Trump, if banks don't watch what's coming, they'll be extinct in 10 years. Monero's 50% price pump likely tied to $330 million theft from OG Bitcoiner, ZachXBT says. Duolingo will replace contract workers with AI. Microsoft CEO says up to 30% of the company's code was written by AI. MasterCard gives AI agents ability to shop online for you. Pew announces that Americans largely foresee AI having negative effects on news journalists. Researchers secretly ran a massive, unauthorized AI persuasion experiment on Reddit users, and Reddit issuing formal legal demands against researchers who conducted secret AI experiment on users. Pew announces that free expression seen as important globally, but not everyone thinks their country has press, speech, and internet freedoms. Desperate Housewives offshoot Wisteria Lane in Works at Onyx from Kerry Washington and Natalie Chaidez. Brad Pitt to star in A24's The Writer's adaptation from Conclave director Edward Berger. BBC Bullying Review finds no evidence of toxic culture but says behavior of small number of individuals disproportionately affects reputation and morale. Jack Black's 34-second Minecraft movie anthem Steve's Lava Chicken becomes shortest song to enter Hot 100. Kanye West releases lost album Donda 2 to streaming services. Stranded man airlifted from Mount Fuji, then rescued again days later after he returned to get his phone. Hegseth boasts about ending woke program on women and security. Trump signed it into law. In the U.S., the EPA is canceling almost 800 environmental justice grants, court filing reveals. Harvard pledges reforms following internal reports on anti-Semitism and anti-Arab bias, as Harvard president sorry after reports on anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and Trump administration probes Harvard Law Review for alleged race-based discrimination, and Harvard revamps DEI office amid pressure from Trump administration. Reuters reports that China waives tariffs on U.S. ethane imports, sources say. Besant announces no new trade deals, hints India close. In the U.S., retailers fear toy shortages at Christmas as tariffs freeze supply chain. Canada's Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre loses his own seat in election collapse. Former aide to German far-right politician charged with China espionage. Malta's golden passport scheme is illegal, EU top court rules. FBI, national security agencies using polygraphs for leak hunts. Trump staff puts immigrants' mugshots on White House lawn. Axios reports that most Americans see Trump as dangerous dictator, poll says. Hawaii plans to increase hotel tax to help it cope with climate change. Large fires are burning on the slopes of South Africa's famous Table Mountain. Trump rolls back reporting rules for self-driving car crashes in gift to Musk. Toyota and Waymo agree on framework for strategic partnership to accelerate the spread of autonomous driving. Auto giant Stellantis suspends full-year guidance due to uncertainties over Trump tariffs. Volkswagen posts 37% drop in first-quarter profit, says Trump tariffs could weigh on outlook.
Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawlers April 28, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs April 18th to April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
APT, Rosé et Bruno Mars. Passo bem solto, Sloved, Atos. El mayor de los ranas, Víctor Valverde y J.R. Torres.
Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, April 18th to Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish.
APT, Rosé, Bruno Mars.
Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from April 28, 2025. Minecraft. Little Friends Dogs and Cats.
NBA 2025.
Esports FC 25. Steam's hottest games. Global top-selling and top-played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025 to Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Schedule 1. Last Epoch. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA releases guidance on credential risks associated with potential legacy Oracle Cloud compromise. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Nari Labs DIA 1.6b. DIA is a 1.6b parameter text-to-speech model created by Nari Labs. It was pushed to the hub using the PyTorch model HubMixin integration. DIA directly generates highly realistic dialogue from a transcript. You can condition the output on audio, enabling emotion and tone control. The model can also produce nonverbal communications like laughter, coughing, clearing throat, etc. To accelerate research, we are providing access to pre-trained model checkpoints and inference code. The model weights are hosted on Hugging Face. The model only supports English generation at the moment. FBI arrests Wisconsin judge for obstruction of IC agents. Kash Patel, and Trump's attorney general warns arrested judge is just the beginning. Trump DOJ ordered ICE to invade homes without search warrant. 1 day ago, Venezuelans subject to removal under Wartime Act have 12 hours to contest. In the U.S., New Mexico judge and wife arrested for hiding an alleged Venezuelan gang member in their house. North Korean cyber spies created U.S. firms to dupe crypto developers. Scattered spider hacking suspect extradited to U.S. from Spain. Iran says it fended off extensive cyber attack against country. Trump administration opens foreign funding investigation into UC Berkeley. Wall Street Journal reports that elite universities form private collective to resist Trump administration. U.S. attorney for D.C. accuses Wikipedia of propaganda, threatens nonprofit status. In the U.S., federal prosecutor questions medical journals over alleged bias. U.S. tariffs could endanger 16 million export jobs in China. Goldman Sachs. Reuters reports that U.S. pharma tariffs would raise U.S. drug costs by $51 billion annually, report finds. Trump claims he's negotiating with China on trade. China says otherwise. Google's AI overviews now reach more than 1.5 billion people every month. Google's new AI model aims to decipher dolphin language. Baidu founder highlights shrinking demand for DeepSeek's text-based AI. California proposes allowing testing of self-driving heavy-duty trucks. Chinese media calls out Trump over false ocean pollution accusations. U.S. agency eases some self-driving safety rules, sending Tesla stock soaring. Trump-backed World Liberty and Pakistan Crypto Council team up to boost blockchain and DeFi. Titanic survivor's letter, written aboard the ship, sells for nearly $400,000. Spielberg, De Niro Freeman praise Francis Ford Coppola as he accepts the AFI Life Achievement Award. Hong Kong police arrest 10 over sex selection and surrogacy services. Reportedly, Chinese youth seek friendship marriage with best friends to alleviate family pressure. China extends anti-corruption rules to village chiefs and other grassroots officials. East Asia military spending rises most in 15 years, report shows. America's nuclear arsenal to cost $946 billion over next decade, government report reveals. Russian satellite linked to nuclear weapon program appears out of control, U.S. analysts say. Trump says U.S. ships should be allowed to travel through the Panama and Suez canals for free. China warns U.S. deep-sea mining plan violates international law. Japan broaches one theater concept to U.S. for Indo-Pacific, as Japan has proposed to the U.S. a plan to view the Korean Peninsula, the East and South China Seas. Zimbabwe targets 3.1 million household electrification and 70% clean cooking access by 2030. Philippines' Bulusan volcano erupts, spewing ash 4.5 kilometers high. Flood in River Jhelum after India releases unannounced water, and India's sudden Jhelum water release sparks panic in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Massive explosion at Iranian port linked to missile fuel shipment kills 14, injures 750. 800 Houthi targets hit after weeks of strikes, says U.S., and Houthi rebels say alleged U.S. airstrike that hit Yemen prison holding African migrants kills 68. 31 civilians killed by paramilitary forces in Sudan's Omdurman, volunteer groups. U.S. Treasury hits record $15 billion in customs and excise tax haul amid Trump's trade policies. China lowers minimum amount for tax refunds for tourists to boost spending. Trump proposes substantial federal tax cuts, claims tariffs will replace income taxes, as Trump floats income tax cut in bid to ease tariffs bite, says U.S. talking to China on trade. Men are more distracted by sexual images than women. Psychedelic use linked to shifts in sexuality, gender expression and relationship dynamics study finds. 4:3 Intermittent fasting outperforms daily calorie restriction in weight loss study. White House health advisor says weight loss drugs are being pushed on American children. Popcorn politics. Entertainment appraisals predict support for populist leaders. Neuroscientists show children's brains function differently during book reading and screen time. Russian military helicopter violates Polish airspace to probe air defenses, Poland says. CIA official's son killed while fighting in Ukraine, spy agency says. Russia set to deploy motorbikes in anti-drone summer offensive, ISW. Nearly half of Americans still live with high levels of air pollution, posing serious health risks, report finds. Ultra-processed foods tied to 124,000 premature deaths over 2 years in U.S., study finds. In the U.S., EPA set to cancel grants aimed at protecting children from toxic chemicals. First ever black hole bomb created in the lab. Scientists develop artificial leaf that uses sunlight to produce valuable chemicals. Scientists successfully grow teeth in a lab. U.S. and China holding talks on trade war, Trump says after Beijing rebuttal, as U.S. and China are talking, but China needs a de-escalation, Besant says. Trump ready to bail out farmers amid trade war squeeze, Rollins says. Trump has lowest 100-day approval rating in 80 years poll. 2 months ago in the U.S., Redfin reports 1 in 7 pending home sales are getting canceled, the highest share during this time of year on record. Swiss National Bank chairman rebuffs Bitcoin as reserve asset. Germany's fiscal shift will offset trade drag starting in 2026, IMF official says. Italy's Mediobanca launches €6.3 billion offer for Banca Generali. Malaysia Temple unveils first AI Mazu for devotees to interact with, address concerns. Report finds Meta's celebrity voice chatbots could discuss sex with minors. Reportedly, Brazil's AI-powered social security app is wrongly rejecting claims. Netanyahu says Israel stopped Iranian aircraft from reaching Syria in the days leading up to fall of Assad. Saudi Arabia, Qatar to settle Syria's $15 million World Bank debt to regain financial support. Al Arabiya sources, Cairo demanded a full file on the hostages from Hamas in early May, and Hamas says open to 5-year Gaza truce, one-time hostages release. Researchers find first evidence of potential bedbug insecticide resistance in gene mutation. Terrifying discovery. Underwater volcano found filled with thousands of giant living eggs. In a first, astronomers spot a star swallowing a planet. Nike sued over closure of crypto business. Stripe tests new stablecoin project as $3.7t market looms. In the U.S., SEC already has ample authority to oversee crypto, Atkins says. In Nigeria, tribunal orders Meta, WhatsApp to pay FCCPC $220 million fine, $35,000 in 60 days for discriminatory practices. Only Google can run Chrome, company's browser chief tells judge. China plans space traffic management system amid commercial satellite boom. Reuters reports as TikTok owner ByteDance weighs data center project in Brazil, sources say. Tencent Music in talks to buy Ximalaya for $2.4 billion. Elon Musk's XAI Holdings is in discussions to raise $20 billion. 1 month ago, Elon Musk merges XAI and X to create XAI Holdings. New York Post reports that masked illegal immigrant who allegedly stole Kristi Noem's Gucci bag containing $3,000 in cash, passport arrested, sources. ICE Florida law enforcement make nearly 800 arrests in multi-day operation. The DEA says 114 immigrants in the U.S. illegally were arrested at a Colorado nightclub. Musk says Doge's work recalls Clinton-era cuts.
Al Gore dice gris.
In the U.S. Senate Democrat Party needs to lose weak and woke reputation. Donald Trump Jr. opens private, invite-only club for Washington's ultra-rich. Membership fee $500,000 per year. In reversal, U.S. Justice Department says media records can be seized in leak probes. Hegseth shouted threat to polygraph top military officials. Sources. In the U.S. Justice Department halts funds for programs for victims of hate crimes, child abuse, school violence, and more. Trump world fires back at Politico over report White House may lift sanctions on Russian assets. 4 days ago, Politico reported that White House debates lifting sanctions on Russian energy assets, Nord Stream. China and Philippines display competing flags on disputed South China Sea sandbank, and Philippine forces land on contested South China Sea feature, as Philippines says China has not seized disputed South China Sea reef. Pakistani troops kill 54 militants attempting to sneak into Pakistan from Afghanistan. Rubio says only solution for war in Ukraine is negotiation where both give up something. Russia claims complete liberation of Kursk, admits North Korea assistance, and North Korea confirms troop deployment to Russia, hails heroes. Trump says Putin may not want peace,